So I'm just recording this video just so you've got evidence of who I am and who I was. And the reason why I'm saying that is because what I'm currently experiencing is not ideal. So the place that I'm currently staying in, this quote-unquote HMO. Now, whether they've got a HMO license, I'm not too sure. All I know is at the time of, accepting this accommodation that I was offered in Maidstone, that's where I currently am, it was said to me that they were going to be applying for a HMO license. Anyway, whether they've got a HMO license is another story. But the reason why I'm doing this video is because I've had enough. I've had enough of the house that I'm living in. It has basically become a drug den, and I don't prefer that anymore. I no longer prefer it. We all, strive to get to a place in our lives where we want safety, security, and just all-round fun and enjoy our life. Now, I'm a 22 life path. If I'd have known that 22 life paths were going to be this ridiculous, I wouldn't have come back. After my initial death, my near-death experience that I had 6 years ago, if I'd have known it was going to be, I would have been like, nah, I'm done. I'm done now. So the reason why I'm telling you this is because I just wanted to clear communication between, me and myself, really, essentially. I ended up informing the Raven estate agents, about the current situation in this HMO that I'm currently staying in, that is now a drug den. And I don't feel safe in there anymore. If I'm honest, I'm going to be honest, because honesty is the best policy. I don't feel safe. I don't feel secure. I feel like these people that are staying in this property are not. I'm not energetically aligned with them, because I don't speak to them. I've been there for 5 months, and I've said hello to one of the neighbours, maybe two, but that is it. I don't communicate with them because what they do doesn't align with me anymore. All they want to do is get high. They want to do drugs. They want to do illegal drugs. They want to do whatever it may be. Crack. I've heard the word crack. That's what I've heard. And they were so considerate that they didn't allow the animal to inhale the stuff, but yet they put this stuff in their bodies. Now, I'm not casting any judgment. Let me just get this straight. I'm not casting any judgment on anyone. You do your own. But I'm not going to be put into a situation like this where my safety and security of me is at jeopardy. And the reason why I say that is because the front door is always left open. Like, these people don't know how to close the door, or they don't know how to lock it, or they leave it open and they allow these other people that do not live in this place to enter. Now, I'm fully aware that when I first moved in, some of the rooms were empty. Now, what they did is with that, is they allowed the front doors to be open, and then they allowed these people, these random strangers, to walk in, use one of the rooms, let's just say. That is unacceptable. That is unacceptable. Now, this organisation, Hope Worldwide, that set me to this place, whether their intentions were good or bad, from my perspective, it looks like they were bad, because I specifically informed them that I don't do drugs, I choose not to drink alcohol, I choose not to do any type of negative energy, because I was trying to, at the time I was trying to start up a business. So I needed a place that was secure, safe, access to, transport, whatever it may be. That's why they offered me this type of place. But if I'd known that it was just going to turn into a drug den, I would have just been like, I've gotten to the point now where I'm thinking to myself, is it logical for me to just go, you know, what I was in 2025. I don't want to, but at least then I know that I'm not surrounded by these low vibrational energies, these addictive users, these drug users. I'm not surrounded by these negative energies that, you know, I'll give you an example. So, you know, I've been there 5 months. In that 5 months, I've experienced a few occasions, maybe multiple, more than a few, where I've heard people screaming early hours in the morning that one of their friends have OD'd or someone has OD'd that they're with. And I've heard that, and that's woke me up. Or I've experienced where someone is waking up and all they're doing is they're opening, slamming the doors, opening, slamming the doors, opening, slamming the doors. And yeah, I've gotten to the point now where I've had someone turn up at the property that I don't know who they are. I mean, I don't know any of them, but I know they don't live there. And they've said something to me that's been disrespectful, or they've tried to put me in a low vibrational frequency. And when I've stood up for myself, they've then vocally said to one of the people that live in the property that they want to hit me around the face. That is a threat, and that is an attack. Now, don't get me wrong, don't get it twisted. If I'm backed into a corner, I will fight. And I will fight so they won't so they won't fight me again. And I've gotten to the point now where I've experienced so much bullshit that I'm this close, and I know full well that if I fight, I'm going to snap. And once I snap, it's like an elastic band, and there's only so much you can pull back of elastic band, because I've got to the point now where my safety is my number one concern. And if my safety is threatened by anything, I would do my utmost power to stop it from happening. Whether it means fighting if I have to, but not just fighting to win, fighting so I won't have to fight again. Take that how you want to take it. So I think that what I'm experiencing is unnecessary. This house that I've been placed in, this organisation, you know, these organisations that try to destroy me, Homeless Action in Barnet, Hope Worldwide, Universal Credit, and Barnet Homes, they're all trying to get me to snap. And one thing that I've done is I've spoken my truth. I was informed by the police because there was an incident that happened in the flat. That flat's already had multiple incidents turn up at the flat. That is why my safety is my number one concern. And one of the officers turned around and said to me, they asked me if I was the one that called the police at the time, and I said no. I said it wasn't myself. I said I don't know who it was. And then they mentioned that there was an incident that happened within them. Now, they didn't discuss the incident, but it was bad because they were watching the house. And when I said to him, if I'd have known what this place was, I wouldn't have chosen it. I would have stayed where I was, or I would have stayed in a frame of mind where that I'm going to try to stay in now, that everything works out for me. But I'm speaking my truth. So if you're hearing this message, know this for this time being, that I've spoken my truth. I've told what I needed to tell. And if anything happens to me, you know the reason why. And if you're curious to what happened to me, go to number 2 Hope Street, Maidstone. That is the location of the address of this vessel. So anything does happen to me, you know why. Now, if there's anyone that can help me, I will be very, very appreciative if you can. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not going to be taking on your trauma. I want to make that abundantly clear. I won't be taking on your trauma, but if you can help me, that is fine. I'm grateful for it. But it doesn't mean that I'm going to be going, oh yeah, you helped me, so now you got to help me do my... No. I've been doing that for 36 years. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not taking on anyone else's trauma. Having said that, if there is anyone that can help me, I've had enough. I want out. I want out of this experience, this reality. 22 Life Path is my life path, but it doesn't mean that I have to experience this type of bullshit being placed in a drug den. Like, what the fuck is that bullshit? So if you're watching this, thank you. If you watched it all the way through, excellent. I'll catch you in the next one.